I'm assuming this is the first time that this horse has had a rope thrown over his back, judging by his response. I do my best to stay with him, to continue putting the pressure on him, and to keep him from changing sides by putting my right hand up to block him, although he does get by me a couple times here. When he really tries to leave, I just stay with him and try to get 2 eyes again, and then go right back into throwing the rope over his back. He kind of gets stuck over here against my panel, and he's just braced up and taking the pressure. He's just totally bottled up right here. So I eventually work on getting him to break loose a little bit before I continue throwing the rope over and desensitizing, because I don't want him to feel like he can't move. It ended up taking quite a lot of pressure for him to move off again, but I just build up until he offers to move away. I get him to face up again and then go right back into throwing the rope over his back just like before. He's a lot more relaxed here. He's still tensing a little bit when I throw the rope, but he's not feeling like he's totally stuck like he was over against my panel. I want him to feel that he can move away if he needs to. I love how often this colt offers to lick and chew. It's really great to see that sign. And this is the first time he's had the rope thrown over his back on the other side. You'll notice he doesn't have the same flight response as his right side. Once he's comfortable with me throwing the rope over his back, I start throwing the rope around his back legs. And he's a little bit worried about it, wanting to move off, but he's not panicky and he never offered to kick, which was great. I'm giving him a lot of time to soak and think before I start again. That's why there's so many cuts in the video. This video would be easily twice as long as it's going to be anyway if I included all of the footage, and it's literally just me standing there next to him and petting him. This way you're only seeing the highlights. So I'm starting to introduce leading by, the very beginning step to teaching a horse how to lunge. And this colt doesn't really come off of pressure very well. I have to put quite a bit of pressure on him for him to think, oh, I should respond. But when he finally takes a few forward steps there, and we disengage and rest, that's what I was looking for.
It takes so much pressure to move off.
It's a little bit less pressure every time. The Colt is definitely smart.
Very good. That's much better. Good job, sweetheart.
I start to introduce the same concept of leading by with the other side. I'm going to do all of these steps on both sides of the horse.
Excellent job. Good boy.
He wants to be surprisingly soft on the lead, which is really, really cool. We worked on the concept of leading by on both sides a little bit more, and then I got out the flag. I'm assuming this is the first time that this colt has been flagged, and all in all, he had a good response to it. Remember, in the round penning video with him, he wasn't very responsive to the flag, so it obviously didn't bother him very much. But for him to settle into it this quickly was really cool. I start out with reaching out and touching him with the flag and only making it make noise when I take it away from him. And then I start making the flag make noise on the way to him and away from him, and build up to where I can swing it 2 or 3 or even 4 times before stopping. And he does really well with all of this. Then we moved on to the other side, and he handled that side really well too. I did the same thing and building up the pressure of my flag, and I don't think he even moved the whole time. But he wasn't braced up against me. He knew that he could move if he felt he needed to.
Aren't you?
One last little thing that I wanted to do before I put him up was ask him to step his fronts across. So I drop my flag, I have one hand on the halter, and I put my other hand on his shoulder. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but I'm trying to ask him to take a step with that right front foot. And he picked it up pretty quick. So that wasn't quite it, because he decided to move his hind end first. So I kind of just weighed him out and then set it back up to ask again. I'm looking for that right front foot to do just what he did right there, where it stepped back and to the side at a 45-degree angle. So I pet on him a little bit and then go to the other side and look for the same thing. Right there, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I pet on him a little bit more. Thanks for watching. All in all, a pretty nice first session with this little 2-year-old. I'm excited to see what he'll accomplish.